Hey everyone, it's Kevin Ducey, president of Whiteboard, back again with another top producer spotlight, and I'm honored and blessed today to be joined by a guy I proudly call a friend. We have conversations on the side all the time. We were introduced at Next Level. He is a marketing guru. He is a genius. He is also one of the nicest people you'll ever get the opportunity to meet. So if you do see him somewhere, please say hi. My friend, with no further avail, Jason Frazier. How you doing today, sir?
Kevin, brother, thank you so much for having me, and I am fantastic. What are our friends KT and Sean always say on their podcast? If I was any better, I'd be you. So
Right on.
I'm doing awesome, man.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I love the plug for our Next Level guys. Really appreciate them because obviously without them, we wouldn't have had the ability to connect that we did. Tell me a little bit about your story for those who might not know you. You've had a really kind of a very neat and wide berth of a career in the mortgage industry. How did it happen? How did you get to where you are? Where you're the chief strategy officer for EPM now, based in Atlanta?
So yeah, I mean, I was again, and apologies to the people that know, they're probably like, oh, here comes the freaking born into the industry story. But hey, for the people that don't know it, I was born into the industry. And I mean, literally, I was in a baby carrier on my mom's desk at the mortgage company 3 days after I was born. Right. My mom.
Your mom's a badass, so you should be proud of it. So
Yeah,
that's fine.
so I'm very proud of that. I give her all the credit for everything that I have and her teaching me this business and bringing me into it, even though she, as growing up, every week she probably mentioned, Jason, don't ever get into the mortgage business. But she, she's a big hero to me. Like she was, I think the first, if not one of the first, female presidents and CEOs of a mortgage company in the country back in like 80 or 80, 79 or 80, somewhere around there. And so, so I was in the business, but I followed her advice. I didn't get into the mortgage industry. I went another route. Without going in through all that, but at a good crux of my career was in technology as a technology executive. So I worked in the venture capital startup hedge fund space. I worked for Peter Thiel, who's the founder of PayPal, plus multiple other different entities like Palantir and a few other things. And so I worked with him and some of the greatest minds that this country has come to know in the last 2 decades when it comes to innovation, thinking differently, and basically shaping culture in society, right or wrong. And so I did that till about 2009, got burnout doing that just because I worked a lot. And so I took a sabbatical, which lasted about 2 weeks. And then I got bored and decided, because I made enough money, I didn't have to work if I didn't want to. And so I got bored. And then, that at the time, Mason McDuffie, which is my family's company, were looking to do something different. And so I consulted with them to give them an audit of where they were at and where they were trying to go. And that, spearheaded into me joining the company as their CIO. I ended up starting with just IT, but by the time I left, marketing was underneath me, human resources was underneath me, administration, facilities, lease negotiations, communication, training, all of those were under my management. And then I served as the CIO, the chief strategy officer, and the chief marketing officer for the company. And so, which was a confluence of a lot of different things. So from that, I went out, did my own thing, marketing, consulting, coaching, coaching with Next Level, started doing that, worked in media for a while with Shred, and then joined Cardinal Financial to run their wholesale marketing, and did that for about 8 months until I got the opportunity with EPM to get back into being an executive, to really have the autonomy to help build a company. And I just didn't have that, nothing against Cardinal. It's just that wasn't the position that I was in or was going to be in at that company. And so
what you're doing over there at EPM, I know you're going to have some say in there. If you haven't met Jason, if you don't know Jason or haven't heard of Jason, you might not know like where my opinion of you is, like, you've been a kind of a marketing guru in the industry for the past couple of years. That being said, if someone's sitting here listening today, give a loan officer a couple tips who are listening today about how they can improve their business here in 2021, and then maybe what the market looks like in the next year or two, what you're seeing and how they could take advantage of it.
Yeah, and look, and I could spend hours talking, and I have spent hours talking about
Yep.
this at, conferences and stuff like that. But like, here it is. One is, I would say, one is you can't outsource your brand. Understand that first and foremost, and then understanding what your brand really is, right? And that's marketing, and this is all inclusive. Understand that marketing and technology are the same now, right?
Mhm.
Also understand that if it depends on, look, if you're a loan officer, guess what? You're also in marketing, right? You're in marketing. In fact, at any lenders listening to this, every single employee is in marketing. Your whole company is in marketing because their interactions with people every single day and whatnot. We need to understand that, look, the world has grown and changed, and our industry needs to change with it, right? And people will say, well, we have an online app or whatever. No, like, the soul of what we do needs to change to go along with the times, right? And so everyone's in marketing. And marketing wasn't something I ever inspired to be in, or do, but it's just something that, just it found me, I found it, and, it ended up working out. But as a loan officer, one, understand that and don't just, this is where we run afoul, is because, like, well, this coming from a guy that's never originated a loan. I'm not telling you how to originate a loan. I'm not telling you how to be a better producer, right? I'll leave that to the coaches and the people that are actually in the trenches doing what you do, right? I'm telling you how to get attention and how to win, right? Like, in general. And what I'm telling you isn't like, oh, well, what does he know? I'm telling you this from Sean. He is the number one loan officer in the country. He did $1.5 billion in origination last year. I had him on the interview on the Mortgage X podcast with me and Christine Beckwith, where we talked about that. But here's what I'll say. You got to get out of your own way. You got to know that you can't have the mindset that no one's going to do the business as good as you, meaning like having a processor or an LOA or an assistant or something like that. You need to build the team, right? You need to rely on partners, right? You need to rely a little bit on technology, right? You need to automate the stuff that takes away from your sales activities, your true sales activities, right? Learn how to use a CRM, learn how to use some of these services like HomeBot and Bonzo and Verse and all these other things, right? Like, learn how to use these tools, right? You don't need to be an expert in it. I don't need you to design them from the ground up, but learn how to, like, understand how a car works, right? You managed to do that, but I don't think that a lot of you are mechanics, right? But you at least know how your car works, right? And understand, like, the basics. Do that with your technology. Automate the stuff, because here's the deal, right? If you automate something that takes you 10 minutes a day, that's a week back of your life in a given year, right?
Absolutely.
What if you automate 20 minutes of your day, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? And I'm not talking about like the relationships. That's still important. But understand, if you still want to take the phone, if you still want to take apps over the phone because you know the client's better and all that other good stuff, hey, God bless you, more power to you. But don't, on the same hand, say, I want to be able to scale. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that, because you have to sacrifice one or the other. You can't do it all. So you got to learn how to use technology. You got to rely on your partners. And I'll tell you, there's never, every single person, and I know Kevin's heard the interviews too as well. There's never been one person that has built the team or that has automated or outsourced or got help with their business. They will tell you the same thing every single time. And it's one phrase, and they say, I wish I would have done this sooner.
Yeah.
Period.
It's when I talked to Barry about it, Barry Habib, he's like, God bless, what could I have done with automation in my day? Like, good Lord. And, you talk, not only does it save you time, you think about what automation is doing for you, and I don't care which system's doing it for you, is I can't automate a relationship. I can't automate something that's personal and intrinsic and real. I can automate the mundane tasks that you do every day. And that's what all these companies can do for you. So I think there's a fear, like, I'm automating my relationship away. No, you're freeing up time to have a better conversation with your borrower, with your partner, with those strategic partners, to maybe instead of a half-hour coffee get together, you can have an hour and a half strategic plan out 2021 with that real estate partner of how you want to work and how you want to do things and how you want to handle your processes. And I'll tell you this, as a customer, and I've never originated either, Jason, but I know sales and I know people. It's like, you want to grow your business, and you want people to come back and say great things about you. it's not going to be because your processes were perfect. It's because they like you, and they're going to like you because you showed a vested interest in that you care about them and what they're trying to do. You're walking them through 99% of the people, the largest financial decision they're ever going to make. If you don't know what their end goals are or what they're trying to achieve 10, 20, 30 years down the road from now, then you're missing the point. And they're going to go to somebody else when they refi. They're going to go to somebody else when they buy their new house.
Yeah, and it's, at the end of the day, it's about marketing and selling. And so as an originator, you need to understand that. And again, just be willing to at least release that control, but understand you can't have it both ways. Like if you have to sacrifice something, but don't take the human piece out of it, right? Because I think what 2020 showed us is that we're not ready for 100% automation, 100% virtual, 100% computer. It's important to have those tools, and those that had them, and you could look across the board, those people that had them did way better than those that did not in 2020, but people still want that human interaction. So find the way to do both. And it's look, whether you listen to other guests that Kevin has had on here, listen to the guys at Next Level who live this every single day, right? Like this is what they do. It can be found, the balance can be had, it works. And the one thing that this is the thing that I want you to throw away right now. My clients don't respond to X, right? Because here's my response to that. Yes, they freaking do, right? Because look, you don't have some bubble of clients that don't, you know what I mean? That look, it does. I could say this safely because I have a network of agents and loan officers from San Francisco to New York City. All of them have a lot demographics, cross sections, wealth, whatever it happens to be, demographics of finance and credit profiles, whatever. And they all do, right? So stop, right? Like stop telling you the reasons why, find the reasons why not, right? That's what you need to start telling yourselves. Why not now? Do it now.
Got to create some value. Got to create some value instantaneously.
Look, I have a new thing that I've created for this year, right? It's not a coaching program, it's a mentality. And I call it Originator 2021. And this is going to be the foundation for the next decade. If you're an originator that truly wants to be different, that wants to work, that wants to have their own brand, that wants to be able to plug into a lot of cool different things, that's going to set you up for the next decade, then we're the home for you, right? If you don't, if you want the stuff fed to you, if you want the hand holding and all that stuff, this isn't for you, right? Like that's just not us, right? And we want people that want to work. We want people that want to be the best. Literally, if you do not wake up every morning wanting to be the best at your job and I'm not saying having a bad day or saying like, oh, this freaking listing agent is or selling agent is driving me nuts. I'm not talking about that. We all have bad days. There are all days that I'm like, I come in and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a rough one like today. Like, look, but I think if anything, 2020 showed you that we are incredibly blessed to be doing what we do in this industry. It was one of the very few industries in the world that wasn't completely upended and demolished and decimated by the pandemic. We've all had, pretty much record years and stuff like that. But, you come to EPM because you want to be different, right? You don't want to be the same. And anyone that knows me, like Kevin, you mentioned in the beginning, like I do things differently. I walk a different path. If you want to do the business how you've always wanted to do it, EPM is not the place for you. If you want to do it differently and want to be the best every single day and want to work hard to do it, and the sky's the limit, and have an active voice in building the company that you want for the future, then this is a place for you, right? Or at least it's worthy of a conversation with myself or Steve Carpatello, who's our chief retail officer, or my business development team, right? That's it. If you're a mortgage broker, we've worked hard to create a good partnership to service our mortgage broker business, to be a true partner to the wholesale community. And as a lot of you know, like even though a majority of my time was spent on the retail side, the last few years I've worked closely with AIM, I've worked with NAM, I've been in the broker community and been an absolute advocate for the mortgage broker channel. So shout out to my brokers are better crew, but and a shout out to AIM. But like we're focused on growing that channel as well. I think if anything, 2020 showed us that you need to have a diversified portfolio if you're a lender, right? Having just wholesale only could get you into some trouble, right? Having retail only could get you into some trouble, right? So having the best of both worlds is what I believe we have at EPM. So we're an omni-channel lender, and so would love to have a discussion about partnering as well. But at the end of the day, you gotta part as a wholesale, as a mortgage broker, you got to partner with the right lender that works for you in your book of business. As a retail loan officer, you got to work with a company where you feel that is going to be the best for the way that you want to do business. And we're not for everybody, right? We know who we are. We know who we are not. And we're not going to try to, we don't want to be everything to everybody, because that's a losing proposition in this industry.
Well, I think you're embodying it. You're at the office right now, right?
Yeah. I
mean, you're the chief strategy officer at APM, and you're at the office, and you're rocking a lid and a hoodie, man. It's like, you're just going to be you. Like, allow people to be themselves, and I think you're kind of embodying that a little bit. That being said, where can people get more from Jason? Oh, by the way, real quick shout out to Katie Sweeney. Congratulations. You should shout it out AIM there. So we'll plug her there for a little bit.
Yep. That's a huge win for the mortgage broker community. She's done an awesome job stewarding that association. Absolutely.
Pure hustler. And what she's overcome this year has been pretty incredible in the past 12 months.
Yep.
So where can folks find you? Where can they get more of Jason? They want to latch onto this. They want to hear more of what you have to offer. You've got some stuff out there. Where can folks find you?
Well, if they've continued to listen and they've gone past me pontificating about this or that, they could find me at mortgagexpodcast.com. Again, the Mortgage X is the podcast that I do with my partner, Christine Beckwith, who a lot of you probably know. She's awesome. You can also link to Christine off of that website as well. That's where you can listen to the podcast that we have. Connect with me on there. Follow, on Mortgage X pretty much everywhere on social media. I do a lot on LinkedIn. I don't really do that much on Instagram, but I have content on there. Facebook is generally where people connect with me, and LinkedIn. But yeah, you can connect with me there. I have my newsletter that I do, my weekly newsletter called The Letter X, that you could subscribe to on there, which is done pretty good within the industry. Yeah, all about that. So it's that's the place that you can connect with me, and then also at Next Level. I'm a marketing, blessed to be a marketing coach for the Next Level guys, and be a part of that family, and they just have changed their organization a little bit to make it a little bit more cost friendly to people. Absolutely. And it opens up a lot of options.
Thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much for all that you've done for me, for Whiteboard, as well as the folks that are out there. You're a constant giver. And I think that I think one of the things that connects us and bonds us is that we truly understand the reason why the folks in our industry had a record year in 2020 is because we found ways for people to have more money in their pockets when they're struggling. And I think that the owning a home is still and always will be the American dream. It's the number one way to pull people out of generational poverty.
Yep.
And that's what our customers do. And I don't think that you and we've never lost sight of that. And that's what it makes it easy to get up and go to work every day and know that we're serving that community that's serving our community. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you and talking to you soon, sir.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed this talk. And hey, before we go, I mentioned using a CRM is going to be important for a loan officer. Check out Whiteboard. I've put a lot of my people for my mastermind on there, and they've loved it. And look, and Kevin will tell you the first one. He may not be the CRM for you, and you usually don't see a lot of vendors be that honest for it. But check out Whiteboard. They've done my people a great service, so highly recommend them.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate your time.